Yeah, there we go. Okay, so welcome back to Judging Bouncing Balls. We already got three viewers, and I'm sitting here staring at a blank screen that's not even working. So that's exciting. But now it's all working, so that's good. Tell me, how the heck are you?
I'm good. I'm real good. End of summer. Time to get back at it for the kiddos,
Hey,
the
right.
teachers. No offense.
Hey, no, we're getting back into it. It's going to be good. We are, like I was just telling you off air, we have sophomores tomorrow at Spash. Sounds like you got, and then we have a Friday off, and then we all come back on Tuesday. Sounds like you got freshmen on Tuesday, and then everybody on Wednesday. So,
Yeah, it's amazing. Like parochial schools, Notre Dame, and that started last week. I know Pulaski fired up. That's why there's a smile on Paul's face. His house is kidless during the day. Um, so it's funny how everybody does something different. I'm a fan of getting started early because I think when it comes down to June, get out of school early June.
yeah,
Don't drag those out.
I'm with
Summer's
you.
over. I mean, once you get to a point in back to school commercials and you got all your school clothes, it's time to use them. And then, like when I was at Northern Michigan University, we got out mid-May, like it was early
Yeah,
because they wanted kids to go back and get jobs, and
right.
so
I don't know. I'm kind
I
of
took
on that
advantage of
mindset
that.
too.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
much rather see it be early, but unfortunately, it seems like now it kind of drags out. And I mean, there's been, what was it last year? Because of a couple snow days, we were all the way into like June 10th or something like that, or what? I don't know, June 8th or whatever it was. So
Yeah. The Paul just said the Pulaski Way start before Labor Day and before Memorial Day. That's perfect.
I love it. I am fully on board with that.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyways, kids are back in school. And maybe what we'd say for Paul is when the kids are away, the parents will play. So
A lot of vacation days next week for Paul.
so good for Paul and good for all those that are heading back to school. Hopefully you have a good, successful school year. Enjoy life. Everything's good.
Yeah. And the good Lord said, how about we make it 100,000 degrees next week?
Can't wait. It is going to be, yeah, it's going to be 100 degrees basically. I think I saw it's supposed to be 98. We already have the WIA heat advisories. Granted, Monday is a holiday, so a lot of practices are probably late anyway. But we're going to have to be because it's dang hot out. They're going to have to be late in the day. So drink, hydrate. Make sure you hydrate all weekend, everybody.
I'm going to. I really am. Start early Friday and end late Monday.
Nice. So
Have
speaking of
you
the,
have
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, have you ever heard of like we have snow days. So what if Tuesday it's too hot and it's called a heat day? I mean, if they cancel school because of that, I'm gonna then I'm gonna need to rethink life because that
I've
would be
never
out of
heard of
hand,
that. Now, what
right?
I think could happen is if it got too hot and let's say a transformer blew and then the power went out and you didn't have any power in the school, then you could potentially have something like that. I've heard of something like that happening. It's never happened to me, but I could imagine that that could be scenario that it could unfold.
I have a couple buddies in the power business that could probably tell you what to hit and when to hit it to make it look like an accident. If you know what I'm
Right,
saying.
right. Actually, now that I think about it, we did actually have a day where we lost power at school. There was, I can't remember what happened, but like half the city went down, and Stevens Point was in, or Spash is included in that. But I don't remember what happened. I think we were just in school with no power, if I remember correctly. We just kind of hung
Yeah,
out there. So I don't know.
yeah,
Oh
Paul.
boy,
Paul, you know what? I actually I have Tuesday off. That is so weird.
so
And if I
weird.
don't, I'm probably just take it off.
So Toby and Paul are going to be on the boat on Tuesday. If you're not reading the chat, so that's great. Good for you guys. Really happy for
Just
you.
two grown chubby men with their shirts off standing in the water. Nothing better. Nothing better.
Hey, Amherst always gets electricity. That town is amazing. Amazing town.
Uh, but what do we have this weekend? We got a big soccer tournament.
Holy buckets. We got a lot of stuff going on this weekend. Yeah, we got the big soccer tournament, Patriot Cup this weekend. See if the Mighty Loons
Uh,
can get her done. Of
did you see they moved our games around? 9:45 and
course they do.
4.
That's all the gamesmanship. You got to screw with our minds and bodies a little bit, see if they can get an upper hand advantage. You know how the O9s are.
Do you think that's the '09 doing it? I think
Oh,
Eric is
totally. Pulling the
he's the
strings,
puppet master,
puppet
right?
master. Oh yeah, for sure. This
He's
is
like, you
that.
guys, yeah. I bet you that's their first game. So we play at 9:45 and 4, and they probably play at 4 and 8 because it's cooler.
Right. I'm sure.
They probably
They're
play
probably going to
indoors.
bring out. They're probably going to bring out the fire department to do a little practice, wet the field down. Do some drills out there, and the field will be drenched.
Speaking of that, Joe's watching. He's the one that cuts the lawn. I think we need it to go like we need that ball rolling. We're a better turf team than them.
You think we
So
are?
we're
I think
better.
we're a better
We're
grass
better.
team.
I think we're better all the way around. I'm not gonna lie. But my issue is I don't know how long I'm gonna be there. We have a wedding.
That's right. Is Macy staying though? Right?
No, she's gonna go to the wedding.
Oh,
She's not standing up or anything. We just believe that when you're invited to a wedding, you should go to the wedding.
fair enough.
She there's no way. There's no way she'd ever do that. So she will be there.
All right,
Correct.
good. Oh, it
What
looks
field
like
does it say?
Field 6 was a little high yesterday, and then Joe says we're a better team too. So,
Yeah. Well, Joe's not wrong.
all right, so that should
Field
be fun.
6.
Is
Yeah.
that our first game? Is
No.
Gebhardt? Okay,
We play Iowa '08, I think.
okay,
So just to bring everybody to speed, last year we played in this tournament. We played the '08s and the '07s. We played up a level. We beat the Iowa State champion to win the tournament. And then they're like, you know what? Now you've qualified to play the '09 team, the younger team. So I'm wondering last year was kind of a play-in deal, big deal for us to win the upper division. So now they're going to go in a lower division. Man, they think highly of themselves down there. Highly. We better win, by the way.
yeah, we better.
We
Uh,
we
we have a couple of
beat the bed.
yeah, we have a couple of injuries though, don't we?
One sprained ankle.
Yep, and then we have.
Where did that come from last night when you texted me?
I have no idea. All I know is Amelia got in. And she's like, "Oh, Macy has a sprained ankle." I'm like, "That sucks." I'm like, "Wow, that's the second person. That's crazy." And then I texted you, and you're like, "I've never heard anything of it." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I guess that's not true," which is good.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
was very happy to hear it because that would not have been good if we'd have had a second sprained ankle. So, anyways, I have no idea. And I asked her, I'm like, "Who told you that?" She's like, "I don't remember." I'm like, "Well, great. That's awesome." Don't I
Fake fake news.
love my daughter to death, but she's never been good with details.
They are useless.
So yeah, anyway, so yeah, we play FC United first game, 9:45. Make sure you tune in. We'll be streaming that, and then we have 4 o'clock. We have enough time so here's what I'm going to be doing on Saturday. We have enough time in between our games that when we're done, I'm going to drive to Madison, pick up ice cream for the business, drive it all the way back home, and then come back to Appleton.
So we'll get done about 11:15, 11:30.
Yeah,
It's about an hour and a half to Madtown.
yeah.
12:1.
It's back in an hour.
How long is it from?
About an hour and a half back to home. It usually takes me like 5-10 minutes at the place.
So 2:30.
Yeah, and then an hour over. So I'll be back at like 3:30.
Paul's never going to make. If you have one bad thing happen, one thing, run. Are you? What car will you take?
Oh, I'm living on the edge. I'm taking the van, baby. 240,000 miles. What could go wrong? It's
I
very.
thought maybe you'd bring the Tesla and you could run out of juice.
It's a well-oiled machine that it's a 240,000 on a Honda. You're just getting it into its groove.
How great is this? Between my car and your car, we have 570,000 miles.
That's pretty
Like
good.
we could go around the world like 50,000 times.
242s to the moon. Moon and
We go
back.
to the moon and back.
Dang right.
We're back, baby.
But yeah, 200. I just turned 240,000. It's like 240,400. So go Facebook Live the entire trip. That's what people want to see is me singing off key to country music or just random thoughts.
Are you going to
Um,
make a kid go with you, one of your
no,
children?
no, I'll hike it on my own. So Paul says I'm never gonna make it. All right, I like this. This is like a cannonball run or whatever.
Eastbound and down, right?
Dang right. What's that guy's name? Jerry something? I don't know. Anyways, yes, eastbound and down. Roll it up in trucking. We're gonna do what they say can't be done.
Right. Big
Dang
Little
right.
Beer. You want
All
me to
right.
lead for you? You want me to go real fast and steal the
Maybe
cops away? And
we'll see. I'll play it by ear because if the game goes long, then yes, it's gonna be a little bit too tight. So Jerry Reed, there you go. I thought it was Jerry something. But yeah, so we'll see. But that's the plan. But that's a big gap. Anyways, my point was that's a huge gap that we have from till 4 o'clock. So yeah. Anyways, we play at 4 o'clock, and then we have other games on Sunday. So,
early Sunday.
or well, yeah, you don't want to mess
I
around.
mean, it's the Lord's Day.
Yeah, get it done. Let's
Jeez.
go.
So hopefully we win a couple, make it to the championship game, take home a trophy, and then celebrate.
Dang right. Have you done your volunteering yet? Yeah, I think.
I'm on the board.
Oh,
I
Christ.
voted to. I voted all board members don't have to do
I
volunteerism.
bet you did.
I didn't. I do like to stick around and help out when it's feasible.
Hmm.
The key to volunteerism out there for all you loon parents is take the early setup shift on day 2 and 3 of the tournament.
For the parking lot, yeah.
Yes, because you get the golf cart and you drive around and check the garbage bins, and they're all empty from the people the day before, and you end up just driving around drinking coffee.
Or the other one is you do the ticket entrance on day 2 because everybody already has their pass, and it's like roll it on through. Let's go. Let's go. You don't have to do anything. You just all right. So yeah, I'm with
But
you on that.
volunteers are needed. With that wedding, usually I like to stick around and help if I can, so I might do that on Sunday.
I'm
But
actually hoping we
volunteers are needed.
yeah, I'm hoping we can do that net thing again. I did that last year where we took down the nets. That actually wasn't too bad. I didn't mind that. I mean,
Yeah.
it took a lot of time, but it was it was pretty good. So
And then usually I help Joe and Shant paint the lines for State Cup.
oh, there you go. That's a good
That's a,
one.
that's a good time because there's usually Shant brings a couple beers for the fellas. You know, it's like Shawshank Redemption. I feel we've earned it.
Joshak, yes, that's exactly what it's like.
That's what I feel like when I work go down there. I feel like prison.
Oh, I don't know why this just popped into my head, but did you see the unpopular opinion video that I shared? My like why I was so
Your dog poop?
yeah, and did you know what I saw when I went to practice last night right in front of our porta potties?
Dog poop in a bag.
What is going on? People, you got to throw this stuff away. I don't understand what is going on.
How do you take the time to pick it up, put it in a bag, tie the bag, and be like, you know what? I'm done.
F it. Throw it in
I've had
the.
enough of this good deed. Just don't even bag it. I mean, when it rains, it dissipates, right? And it disappears. At least that's what I think when my dog poops in somebody's yard. I'm like, fertilizer.
Anyways, I just
But my dog's little.
I laughed because I'm like, seriously, what is going on? But anyways, yeah, it was just so apropos. It was right there. What is Paul talking about? Coral.
His wife, Coral, said that volunteerism for the tryout sign up is you sit in a chair and you write
That is
names.
pretty good.
Probably give out numbers.
Oh,
I didn't know
Joe.
Coral helped.
Joe, Joe's going to do my hours for me. That's what he's saying right there. He says he's going to volunteer for me.
Man, that guy loves soccer.
I know.
Loves soccer.
He's a good dude. I like it. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Thanks, Joe.
Joe's the best. I guess I don't have to do my hours. I'm just going to say Bill Joe Shear.
Right?
He is probably going to do that. He would. What a turd.
He's got 2 dogs.
Just going to bag it up all weekend, just throw it at my vehicle.
Just grocery bags full of poo.
Oh, God. All right. Anyways,
We got a couple of nice topics tonight.
definitely. So why don't you start us off with your you had some research that you were doing about some different topics. What did you find out, Toby?
So, as I'm looking to book airfare to Orlando, which have you done? Have you looked?
Oh, Toby, I have looked, and I'm at the stage where I've done so much, and Sarah has looked and looked and looked, and she's like, it just keeps going up. It just keeps going up. You better book it. You better book it. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I haven't booked. I need
I know.
to. I'm gonna pay for it.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
So, okay, first off, here's my rant. Frontier Airlines can shove a airline ticket square up their back end of their airplane. Because there was 3 airline tickets Friday to Monday. Round trip was $128 a piece out of Milwaukee.
hmm
No stops. Okay, so I'm like, oh, that's awesome, right? $402 for 3 flights. And then they're like, oh, would you like to pick your seat? And I'm like, well, I would like to pick my seat because there's 3 of us.
Great.
Add $200 for that. I'm like, oh, would you like to bring a bag? It came to $1,250. It was $800
What?
to pick your seats, bring a bag on the airplane, and I think I did check one bag underneath. Just one person check a bag. Everybody had a bag besides a small backpack. It was over 12. It raised the price $800.
Wow.
I'm like, what the hell
Now is that kind
are
of
we doing?
is that kind of like well, like Wausau has now direct flight to Orlando, and they're like one way is $49, but that means you can't bring anything. You can't bring a bag. If you bring a bag, then it's like
I think you get a purse
right.
or a small backpack. Yes,
Yeah,
but if you bring a bag, they charge you.
correct. Even a carry-on.
So that's why I wanted to see what if you look, because I would rather drive to Wausau than drive to Milwaukee.
Yeah, and that's what we've been looking at. I mean, the prices are still not horrible, even with a bag. I want to say it's like $200 a ticket or something, but yeah, no, it's 300. I think it's 300. But it increases the price pretty significantly if you want to even just bring a carry-on. So,
But there is a flight Sunday night back to Milwaukee at like 8:40, and I'm like, then I'd fly in. You'd get in about 10:30, get home by midnight, and you're back to work Monday. But how do you know when you play?
right. So I just was,
I mean, it's not like Green Bay, right?
I'm assuming that we can leave early or late on Sunday and we'd be okay, but you never know.
So I'll probably fly out Monday morning, get a hotel near the airport Sunday night, and just fly back early.
Okay, so Joe said,
I mean, what's another $200?
yeah, what's another 200? Joe says we delete our cookies and look again. So that means they're tracking our cookies and screwing us. Man.
I do that, but I delete my browser all the time.
I wonder why. And then Paul, I
Hey,
love this idea. UPS all your stuff to the hotel, and then you just fly. That's not a horrible idea. Paul, I get this guy.
so
I get it.
I thought about that today, but then getting it back is the problem
Why?
because you can't ship from the hotel. You'd have to go find a
Oh, drop site.
UPS store. Yeah, so it wouldn't be the worst because I've heard people ship golf clubs. Because that would be a piece of cake. You just take a suitcase, you fill it, you duct tape the heck out of it, and you ship it. It's like probably $100.
I like it. It's not a horrible idea. Or
Yeah, no,
hear me out here. Or you watch Friends, right?
yeah.
You do the Chandler and Joey thing. You just put all your clothes on, and you just walk on the airplane. Could I be wearing any more clothes?
You got to think. For me and you, what do we need? A couple T-shirts,
I know.
3 pairs of shorts,
I know. I could do it.
skibbies, and it's a toothbrush. I could do it in a backpack because I wear flip flops.
Yeah, yeah, we could easily wear a couple of clothes, or you just buy a few clothes while you're down there. It's cheaper than shipping them all down.
Right? I love Daytona Beach shirts. Like, let's do it.
Get a nice wife beater or
So,
something. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, we're gonna try to figure out something through that Wausau. If I find anything, I'll let you know. You can drive over to Wausau,
yeah,
hit the Highway 29 ride, and get over.
I'd rather do that. But I'm also looking at Southwest out of Milwaukee. It's like you get 2 bags. The tickets are $380. It's going to cost me $1,100. So
Yeah, yeah, agreed. It's either that or you just jump in a
with
car
the
and just drive as fast as you can.
19 hours, I looked at
I
it.
know.
It's New York City.
Yeah,
Like if it was me and you, we'd
yeah,
drive.
I know.
But I'm not flying my kid and then me drive. That's not how life
No,
works.
that's not how
No
life works.
way.
I totally agree. So, anyways, yeah, it's gonna be super exciting.
But so speaking of traveling all over the world, we've had a couple of loons on the '06 team that have signed committed to colleges, and I was kind of like it was a college popped up out of the blue. University of Illinois Springfield, one of Macy's teammates from Bayport, she plays on the '06s, signed with them. They're a D2 school.
Okay.
And then another girl at Appleton North just, I guess, verbally committed there too. And now there's rumors that a third girl might commit to this college. And I started doing, her mom was posting online and some things. And it was, they went to a camp. She had also, one of the girls had commits from D1 Eastern Illinois and Indiana State. So she had some big time schools looking at her. They went to a camp, and I guess the Springfield coach was at this camp helping, and said, "Would you guys come to my camp next week?" And toured the college, met with players, and they came out with verbals, commits. So, kind of a neat story. You know, you look at what we're doing, and we're traveling all over, flying all over to the south, to the east, to the west, wherever we're going, and it might come down to just going to camp. You know, going to the right camp. And getting seen that way, you know, that's $125 camp, throwing a hotel room for travel. You know, you're in for $300, and that's what it took. I just wonder what
Well,
we're doing on some of these times.
I mean, to push back on that, I think what you could argue as well that playing at a high level prepared them to be the players that stood out at an ID camp that allowed them to get that offer. So it's not like the club didn't have any, or the club play didn't have any benefit. But I get what you're saying. It's like, do you need to travel all over the place? And the thing I would worry about if I'm a school from, let's say I'm from Florida, Florida State, whatever. Let's just pick a school that's down in the area that we're going to. Are they going to want to bring in a kid from Wisconsin? Because you never know if that kid's going to get homesick or if they're going to get, they're so far away that they're like, I don't like it. I want to transfer home. You spend all that time and effort on a kid that may end up just abandoning you because they're not sure that they're kids, right? They don't know for sure what they want to do and they don't know for sure where they want
Right.
to live. So you tend to stay in your vicinity or region if you're a school because that's where you have the most presence, it's where you have the most draw. But are they really going to search out? Maybe if they're a once in a lifetime talent, if they're really good, just like that girl from, was it Kimberly, got sent over or went over for basketball to UConn, right? It does happen if you're really, really good. But if you're really, really good, you probably don't even need to go to that ID camp. They're going to find you.
Well, you're 100% correct. And then I saw on Twitter last night, and this is not updated, but it's a list of all the girls from Wisconsin that have signed D1, D2, D3, NAIA, and it's amazing that there's one from Marquette. She's a Kimberly girl. She went to FC Wisconsin. UWGB's got 3, an SC Wave, 2 SC Waves, and a Loon. And then you get to, Wisconsin, Jenna Bauman from school. She was FC Wisconsin. Then you got a Madison 56er, Chicago Rush, which is in our league. And then you get out of state, and it's it's all Midwest based.
Right.
Whether it's ECNL or whatever all these leagues we go to, right? ECNL is where people gravitate to walk in, and they seem to travel all over the country to play. And I get your statement, like yes, it does prepare you, but is that highest level needed to go play at South Dakota or, Eastern Illinois is FC Wave. The big one is this Anna Sikorsky. She played for Muskego. We saw her in the state
Hmm.
semifinals. She was
Was it?
phenomenal. She's going to Kentucky. But like you said, if you're good enough, they find you.
Right.
But Madison 56ers, they have a girl going to Madison. They've got some high level. Elmbrook, North Shore, DePaul. These are all schools that girls that we play are going to.
Right.
So it's just that you get to, and I talked to Paul the other day. I just said, when you're coming up through the rankings and you're 12 and 13 and you're looking on Facebook and there's teams traveling to Iowa and you're like, man, that's gonna be great. If we can make Iowa, like, look at that, I bet you're playing unbelievable. And then you're like, Iowa's a home game all of a sudden, right? I mean, all of a sudden you're flying over Iowa to get somewhere, and it's all the experience. And I think it's great. We're in, right? We're both said
Yeah.
yes, but you wonder at the end of the day and every kid on our team is different. Amelia's different than
Yeah.
Macy, and they're all different from each other. You wonder, now you're talking some pretty big dollars, and if where does it get us in life?
Yeah. Well, it's just money, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, who needs stuff when you can have your kids smile?
That's right. By the
You have more kids than I do too.
yeah. By the way, it made me laugh because Amelia was like, "My cleats got holes in them." I'm like, "Yeah, of course they do. I'm sure. Of course they have holes in them because we don't have to pay for anything else." God, if they could make
How'd that go? Did she get new cleats
no.
today?
She said, "I think I can make them work to the end of the year," and I said, "Yeah, you can."
I tell you, it's like we went all in on Macy's cleats because of the turf, and they were $300. And it is, if she hasn't got an knee injury yet, so I'm counting that as a victory.
Right.
But I'm like, they better last. They better last a year and a
Yeah,
half.
you would hope. These are not even a year old. I don't. I'm pretty sure we bought these right before the start of the high school season, and they're already. Man, just like yeah. I have jokes about that, but I won't share them here.
There you go. Paul's got some extra brand new
Look at
cleats.
that.
He'll sell them to you. Cost plus 10%.
Transport fee.
Right?
Might take you up on that. She's a 9.5, I believe. Women's 9.5. So we had cleach issues. Nice. I know those issues because Amelia is the one that, they have to fit perfectly or feel just right. Otherwise, it's a no-go.
Yeah. That's exactly what my dad told me.
Yeah.
If they don't fit just right, we'll get you another pair. Yeah, no. That never came out of his mouth.
I don't think I've ever been more frustrated than when I have to go cleat shopping with Amelia. It is yeah, it's unreal. She's just so difficult. I wondered if they might be too big. Her feet are like boats. She should be a barefoot water skier. But I don't know. Yeah, she tries on like 40 different pairs and none of them feel good. And I'm like, whatever. I just can't do this anymore. After an hour and a half, I'm like, we gotta go. I'm done. I can't do this. And I'll make Sarah take her.
What cleats do you think are the most expensive? I just look at some of the people joining us, and I think Andy Vanderbilt, I think his son plays basketball and baseball, maybe. Andy, speak up, but I think basketball gets pricey,
Yeah.
especially for a kid. My friend's son is 6'2", and he's in like a freshman. He's just a tree, and he's got boats.
I'm guessing it's for just shoes. Is that what we're just shoes?
Shoes or cleats? Shoes or cleats?
Again, it all depends on what you're willing to do because if I want to spend $300-400 on shoes, you can easily do it in almost any sport. I think basketball, if you really want to go into like some really nice, you can spend a lot of money. But I think it
Yeah.
just depends on how willing you are to spend because you can find something that's really really expensive no matter what you do. I don't know.
Well, then all of a sudden you got to get your name on them, and I'm like, "Huh, what? What?
Yeah.
I just do what I'm told."
So, anyways, back to our topic initially of traveling around. Man, it's something I've been wrestling with too because I do want to know like is it worth it? Is it worth going all that way? And I guess we'll find out. I mean, and again, it all depends on what your kids are interested in, what they want. Do they want to play at Division 1? Do they want to play at Division 2? I for those that want to play Division 3, which by the way, it's a great level. My wife played Division 3 soccer. There's nothing wrong with it. It is. I honestly don't think you even need to leave the state if you want to play Division 3. I mean, a lot of those teams. I can think of a couple teams. One that you went to a camp from this summer that you could easily probably walk on and you'd be fine. So it's like
I think I could. I think I
so
could.
like I don't think you have to overthink it. It just depends on what you're interested in. If you want to play big time soccer, if you're like want to go to a Power 5 or one of the big schools, you're probably going to have to travel outside the state and get exposure. You're not, unless you're generational, they're probably not going to just come and find you. You're going to have to put some effort into it and go to some of where they are. But it just depends on what you want. If you just want to be a Division 2 player, you probably could play within the state. A state level team. You could really work on your game, play regionally maybe, and that's all you probably need to do. Just hit the right camps, and you're in good shape.
Yeah, I do think that D2 is very intriguing, right? Because it's not D1, so it's not like it's committed, but it's not a D1 program where it's a life. Plus, you can get money. Plus, they pay you to
Right?
play. So I was talking to a friend tonight. We hosted the Bayport girls tennis team. We had dinner. So me and my wife and a friend and his wife, we put on a dinner. Well, we didn't put it on. We took them all to a towny bar and served them pizza. So that's what we did for the. But we were talking. His niece is a volleyball player. D2 got 110% full ride. So they
Wow.
took the tuition plus 10%, and that paid. So tuition was 38,000. So they gave her an extra $5,000 for books
Jeez.
or whatever it came to, and I'm like, that's fantastic. So it cost him like $5,000 a year to go to a $50,000
Hmm.
education.
That's pretty good.
Like that's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's D2. So there's only one D2 in the state, Parkside,
Yeah. Parkside.
if I
Hmm.
recall. Yeah, and then Minnesota's got a whole bunch. Illinois. So they're out there. That's definitely a way to go. But like you said, you can play D3 if you
Yeah.
want to.
And
I mean, I
I'm
think
not,
at
and
our
I'm not trying to
level,
rip on D3. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is if you're willing to go to a team that maybe has a little bit more of a down season, you, you can find opportunities to see the field. And there are
yeah,
inevitably always teams that are in a transition or whatever. If you're not worried so much about playing for a certain school at a certain program, you can find spots to play, and it's just a matter of if you're willing to build with that team. So,
well, and you look at social media of I follow Claire because Macy went to camp
mhm,
there. I don't know how but they are a tight knit group that plays great
yep,
soccer. They have a blast. It is not a job. It's more of a camaraderie thing, and they are at team. I mean, it looks like it's a blast. It's kind of like a
you're right.
sorority, in a way, and there's nothing
No,
wrong with that. I think that would be fun too. I think it's less pressure, but who
yeah,
knows?
no, agreed. So yeah, I think that's it's definitely something to consider as you think about your own kids. If you're watching this and you have a kid that likes to play whatever sport it is, think about what if they once they get to that age and they can start making decisions about where they want to play and how they want to play and what's important to them, that it's definitely something you should factor in because to your point, if you're if D2 sounds good to you where you can get a potentially a free ride and still get a good education, and still maybe not have the high pressure that, it's a nice little balance, right? It's a nice blend. It's a great opportunity, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you can do that without being crazy. You can hit some ID camps and play at a good club level and have a lot of success. So good for
Yeah.
those girls. Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be because the '06s are up right now, and then the '07s, and then we're up in 2 years after our junior year.
No, we're up,
Kind of when
dude.
people,
We're up.
well, we could start talking
Right.
next
Yeah.
year, but it kind of gives you a full
Right.
year of club high school where they take a peek at you.
Correct.
But the '07s are up now. Because I just know a lot of '06s are
Yep.
signing now, so I didn't know if they hesitate or if they, you know, where coaches
Well,
are at. We're trying to get one on to talk about
if I
this.
remember correctly, isn't Senna Haynes in '06? So I think
Yep.
initially your big
And
'06s went right away, right? They're the ones that go right
yep.
away, and then it's kind of like now you're starting to see the rest of them sign their offers.
Yeah, and then because the girl I talked about, the few girls at Illinois Springfield, they are
Right.
'06s also.
Okay.
They're going into their senior year signed. Now you can still go through your senior year and get signed. They always say, "Oh, we're not looking for '06s." I don't buy that
Right.
one bit. They need you.
Yeah.
They need you. If they want you. They
Agreed.
want you.
Yeah, I've got one of our
Plus,
girls is in talks with a big school, and they basically said we wouldn't give you a scholarship. She's not worried about it because she doesn't need it. But they're like, we'll let you do basically a preferred walk on, and that's a Division I school.
yeah.
So those opportunities are out there for seniors. She's a senior right now, so that is a possibility if you're willing to, be a preferred walk on. But the scholarships have dried up for Division I at this point, is my understanding for seniors.
I want. Yeah, I wonder what that preferred walk on is like. What does that even mean? Like you're a
Hmm.
walk on, but you're preferred. Like you get to go to the front of the line. Like doing drills, you get to go first. I mean, like doesn't guarantee you
No,
anything, right? It's just you're preferred. It's like at Disney, you buy the fast pass, but then somebody buys the faster pass,
right?
and then some guy comes in and buys the super duper fast pass, and you're like, I was preferred, but now I'm not that preferred.
Speaking of which, this is a real quick story. Did I tell you about what we saw at Disney the last time we were there? Oh man, they were like, we get to Disney, we get to Universal Studios, right, which has Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror and all those. We get there and they're like, we have got a game plan. Sarah's got a game plan. Remember, she's the planner. This is what we're doing. We're gonna hit this ride because we're in there before it's open. We go to Rock and Roller Coaster, which if you've never been, it's an awesome ride, very short but very fun, and it's closed. And they're like, it's down for maintenance. We're like, down for maintenance? It's like first thing in the morning. Like, how's it down for maintenance? Down for maintenance, right? We're kind of hanging around. They're like out the gate. They're like, don't come, don't form a line. It's going to be down for a long time. Just leave, right? Just nothing to see here. So we're kind of milling around because we go to Tower of Terror and we come back and we see all of a sudden there's like a group in there. And we're like, what the hell is this group? And it wasn't down for maintenance. There was a VIP group that had rented it for the first hour and they had it to themselves. And then they kind of let them out. And then as soon as they let them out, I said, honey, you just wait. This thing's going to open wide open. Because you saw them it was like a group of like 10 people. And all of a sudden they come out and like 5 minutes later, ride's open. Oh, everything's fixed. It's like, you are kidding me. They
Plugged
they
it in.
ran they rented that thing for a full hour. It was just them. They probably rode it like 10 times and then they're done. I was like, man,
What do you think that
that's what I want
costs?
to know. I'm like, what does that cost? Because I'm just looking
Right?
at them, and you know how you can look at people and you're like, yeah, they probably got some money. These people had some money. They they had that little
Yeah.
like sweater pulled over, tied in a knot. Like you could tell they had some cash, and they're not giving a private tour. I mean, they're like showing them the place. They rented that thing. And it was just kind of funny because you hear about that stuff all the time. That's what it was, and they were like, yeah, it's down for maintenance. My butt.
Oh, I'd love to be that guy that can rent out the whole ride by my. They just
Probably cost like
I'd rent one
probably
an
cost like
hour.
$5,000 or something for an hour. That'd be my guess, or more.
right?
So, anyways, sorry.
Thing is, they didn't lose any
No.
money. Disney never loses
Well,
money. You just had to stand there and watch people
that's
have
not
fun.
true.
Yeah,
But they don't
yeah,
lose money on
true,
the
true.
rides. Anyways,
Now, will you be going to Disney when you're in
no,
Orlando?
that's not happening.
No.
Not happening at all. That trip is costing enough already. We're not putting salt on the wound.
We're gonna sit in the hotel room or at the soccer field.
Yeah.
Nothing
So,
else. Load up on breakfast goods.
amen, brother. So, yeah, that's. Yeah, sorry to sidetrack there, but yeah, Paul says D1s usually go first in yeah, the junior spring of junior year, and the next level goes summer into the senior year. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, he brought up a point.
So preferred walk on. He's saying no
Yeah,
money.
yeah, recruited but no money. Yes, correct. Yeah,
Oh,
uh,
I told you that
yeah.
scam, right?
So
This whole
tell the
soccer
fans.
scam. So Paul did all the research. I'm not going to take any credit. Paul does all this research. There's 20 teams in our age group down in Florida when we go. They're going to break us into 5 groups of 4. The top 3 of each group move on. So let me repeat that. There's 5 groups of 4. 3 move on. So that means 5 teams will not move on.
Everybody wins.
What moving on means is we go back in February to Orlando. Now, we're not supposed to root against our children, but it's like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, come on. 3 teams out of 4 make it. That is the most asinine thing
That is
ever.
asinine. And would you break down the math? You did some math before. Is that math you want to share?
Well, that's Paul's math. I'll be honest. Like I
Well,
said,
yeah,
I don't do
Paul's
any of this.
Paul's as we've established a
But
genius.
I,
But but
whoa,
you were
whoa,
you were
whoa,
doing some
whoa,
math.
whoa.
You and Paul. Let's just say you and Paul were doing some math on some
All
things.
right.
Now, was this for the tournament down in Florida? Okay. So
Yes.
just run a few numbers here
So,
past the people.
um, so the USYS, is U.S. Soccer League, has invited 350 teams to the conference playoffs.
Okay.
Average, say, 18 players per team. It's a stand play. So if USYS gets a kickback, you're probably getting $20 a night. Just saying that.
Maybe more, maybe less, but let's say 20.
Maybe more, maybe less. So it's likely 3 nights. So we said 350 teams times 18 times 14. Oh, that would be the what did he say the $14 was? But it doesn't matter. That's $88,000.
Okay.
And then you multiply that by 3. That was per night times 3 is $250,000 that the USYS is going to pull in just for having these teams stay in the
Chump
hotels.
change.
Chump change. And then it's a team fee of $3,200. So there's 350 teams times 3,200 is $1.12 million. So the United States Youth Soccer League is going to bring in $1.5 million approximately before anybody touches the ball. So that's pretty good business.
For 3 days.
Now, 3 days. Now, Paul said, all right, now let's talk about sweatshirts. There's 6,300 players. Let's say 70% get a T-shirt or a sweatshirt. That's 4,410 players. At $90, that's 400 grand. They get a cut, let's say, of $30. So they clear $250,000 in just sweatshirts. And then his line is, we are in the wrong business. And I am like, no kidding.
It's funny. When you sent that over on the text chain, I think it was Jake that was like, Jeremy should do that instead of an ice cream truck. And I'm not gonna lie, that was discussed and it was talked about because I'm like, we actually looked into how do you do these like heat presses, and they're not super expensive. I looked up some of those heat presses. Now the good ones, maybe you could get a heat press for like $400. The good ones maybe are like 1,500, but you could end up getting 3, 4 of those for. I could have probably spent the same amount of money that I did to fix up my truck, and I could have fixed up one of these things where we just drive around and do t-shirts, and it's unbelievable the amount of profit revenue that are on those. You buy a whole pack of you just blank shirts that you can get for a pretty good deal. I think when we looked it up, those shirts you could buy like just t-shirts. They were like $12 a piece for a blank t-shirt, and then you heat press something on it, and next thing you know, you're charging $50 or what is it, 35 to $50 for those. Um, the markup on them is
Yeah.
unbelievable. I mean, it's a good deal.
Oh, I mean, you sell 100 T-shirts, you're going to make three
Yeah,
grand, and 100 T-shirts can take you a couple
right.
hours.
Yeah,
Like that's
it is
crazy
crazy
business.
business.
Now, so when you start to add, and that's what I'd rather not know, and I've told Paul this, and we've
Don't
talked about
tell me.
that. That's where you'd rather not know that information, right? Because it's just like all it does is make you mad, and it really turns you off to youth sports. You're like, what are we doing? But here we go.
$90 for a sweatshirt. That is unbelievable.
But you remember, you get your number on the back, and you get like that something on the
What else do you
sleeve.
get with it?
All it is, you're right. It's just a
What else do you?
you get a bowl of soup or yeah, nothing, nothing like that.
$90?
Well, there was a point there. We have a sweatshirt from every tournament we win, and then we finally just said, "Hey, maybe we take a like state cup." I said, "Macy wins state cup; she gets state tournament."
Wow,
So there's also no name or number.
that's
Holy cow!
that's nuts. I just
But you're feeding on parents, right? You're feeding on people getting excited their kids made the regional round of the
right.
VP.
And but here's the thing: as much as we make fun of it and knock it, people pay it, and so that's and
100.
so
Oh
in the
yeah,
world of
absolutely.
capitalism, supply and demand, if the demand is there, you, it's like,
Can't beat it.
what are you
Might as
gonna
well
do?
join it.
So yeah, yeah. I mean, so good for them. I mean, there's some people making bank making T-shirts. Seems like a pretty decent gig. Maybe I just quit teaching and just travel around the country, go to these ID camps, just set up shop, say, hey, I'll give you a little bit of the cut. I charge. I mean,
But you know
unreal.
how my dad had a good friend that invented the Magna Clean. It was a magnet that cleaned both sides of your windows at the same time.
Yes.
And he went to the fairs, and I couldn't make it more than two fairs. Like, can you imagine going every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sitting in the hot sun, selling T-shirts and sweatshirts to dads like us who are just complaining, like this is ridiculous. Goddamn
Here's your
kids, you
card.
know, and it's just a constant. Yeah, here's me. But and then to pack up, go home for 4 days, and then do
Yeah.
it again. Like I just couldn't do it. I
Here's
no.
where I could do it. I could do it if I didn't have, because I would feel terrible disrupting the kids. If the kids were moved away and Sarah and I were like, hey, this is our life now, and we're just in between the gigs, we just kind of travel and see, those 4 days in between, you travel and then you just kind of hang out and check out the place. I could do that. But if there were
That's
kids
different, right?
involved and it was like you're running back and forth, it's too much. You can't do it.
Don't you think you're going kettle corn instead of T-shirts though? That guy makes a
Yeah, he's doing
fortune.
pretty well. That stuff is not expensive.
But at $5 a bag, you got to sell. No, but I'd eat a lot of it.
Yeah. So, anyways, all I'm hearing out of this is my prices are too low. I'm gonna jack my prices next year.
You should. Why not?
Uh, it's crazy. $90 for a sweatshirt, dude. I can't get over that. I won't even pay 30 for one that I wear.
Right? I go to the outlet
Yeah,
and
I'm a
get two for
cheap
20
date.
because I
Yeah.
spill and I
Ugh.
yeah.
It's not gonna look good either way, so I might as well pay less for it. Oh man, that's unreal.
Start going to rummage
And
sales.
Paul is exactly correct. It'll be 20 deep. You go to that apparel truck this weekend. Every time I've gone to that apparel truck, you have to stand in line for 15 minutes just to get your sweatshirt. It is always packed.
Well, did you see there was that food truck last year,
Yeah,
El
yeah, yeah.
Diablo? So we went. We each got something. It was $55,
Wow. It was that good?
and it was me, my wife, and my daughter. Like
That good.
it was $55. I mean, it was. They had me right because it was Diablo. I don't even know what that means,
Devil.
but I went all in with the
Yeah.
nachos. The devil, yeah, it was the devil, all right, stealing me money. But if he's back, I might go back. I might.
Do you ever watch Jim Gaffigan? When he
Oh, I
talks
love
about the
Jimmy
donut
Gaffigan.
and he goes to that donut place and he's like, he buys the donut and they're like, that'll be $5. And he's like, oh, I just wanted one. He's like, that's for one. And then the guy looks at him, he's like, gotcha, Tubby. That's what I thought of. So true.
He is great. There's some really, yeah. Hot
Yeah, hot fire.
pockets.
But yeah, and you're not wrong, and because they know they have you, and so the for example, this weekend I was at Wanakee, went to the food truck. It was a Mexican food truck, which usually is fairly easy to produce. My son wanted to get a bean burrito, so I get the bean burrito. I'm like, you know what? I'm not that hungry, but I'll get a. They had fish tacos. I'm like, I'll get a fish taco. Now, I will mention they did not have any prices listed on the truck. That should have been my first clue. Like, don't do this. There's no prices listed on the truck. I got the fish taco. I'm not joking you. Like, it was only that big, if you can see. It was literally that big. It was like 3 inches long, and it was like 2 inches, maybe an inch and a half tall. That's all it was. And Oliver got a bean burrito, which was probably yay, right? I think it was $16 or something like that. So I'm like, I got an appetizer basically, which was exciting. But it was $16 for. I'm like, that's got to be a pretty good profit margin. So those food trucks, man, they know they have you because your options are drive somewhere or it's right here, convenience, right? What do you want?
Yeah,
And then they were selling popsicles, dude, like just a normal popsicle, $4 a popsicle. That's markup. That's a good business right there. Just make popsicles, sell them for
that's
$4 a pop.
you know, and I don't get mad because I just don't buy it. But I'm like that. I got to get in that business.
You want to know my idea? This Sarah and I had this idea a long time ago. You take liquid nitrogen, and this is a real thing too. You make alcoholic drinks and you put them as popsicles and you freeze them in liquid nitrogen, and then you have an alcoholic popsicle and you sell it on demand. So like old fashioned popsicle, psh, boom, here you go. And then you can eat it. Pretty good idea.
How fast does it
Instantaneous because
freeze?
it's at absolute zero, so it's like negative 300 degrees. So you put it in, and the freezing point on alcohol is like 32, negative 32 or something like that. So when you drop it in, it's like you leave it for like 20 seconds, and it's frozen, and then you hand it out. Pretty good.
Paul's saying he has those
Wow.
on the boat, but he's talking probably the ones from Costco. You're talking about
Yeah,
making
any
this any
cocktail you put it
cocktail.
in and deep freeze it. I think that'd be a great.
Where do we get this so-called
I
freezy
think that'd be a pretty
stuff?
fun, but you'd have
Liquid
to. Well, we had
nitrogen.
it on the farm because we stored bull semen in it. So I've used a lot of that stuff because you're literally the liquid nitrogen. We play with it as kids, not the bull,
You've used a
right?
lot
Not
of
the bull
liquid
semen.
nitrogen. Okay,
We use that. We use that for other
right.
things. But no, it's not that crazy. Like you can find it almost anywhere. But I didn't know they had those things and freezes them. Okay, that's pretty cool. She makes them on the boat. I like it.
Yeah, no, I know they sell like a freezy pop at, but I think you're talking something that's kind of got some magic to it, right? You kind of mix it in front of
And then
somebody and
freeze it. Boom.
whoa,
Here you go.
$12,
Yeah, $15 or whatever. But then
15
you
bucks.
but then you'd
Things
have to have a liquor
expensive.
license. You'd have to have like, oh man, it'd be I don't know.
Ah, you don't. You just run until you get caught, and then you're like, oh man, I didn't know the rules. Then you shut it down, and you change the name from Jeremy and Toby to Toby and Jeremy, and they'll be like, what? Where'd this guy come from?
Yeah, we could do that. Just
Shake and bake.
bootleg alcoholic popsicles. We're not going to do this. We have no plans. Don't steal our idea, please.
Right.
So, anyways, that was severely off topic. But yes, the food vendors at these places are crazy. But everything's crazy. So you can,
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, I don't Grubhub. I don't do any of that. I have no
you
idea.
know.
So,
Oh, well,
and we don't
dude,
pack
that
sandwiches.
brings up
I mean,
another
that
point
that
to
that
the DoorDash or whatever. My son, who's learning in life about things, we were gone one day and he decided to order Taco Bell literally down the road from DoorDash because he was hungry. And I'm like, dude, just make a sandwich. So he did this, and I didn't. I'm like, it's your money, man. You earned it. You spend it how you want. He got one, two burritos, I think, or two like things from Taco Bell. You take a gander at how much that total bill cost him.
what? I mean, I have no idea. Like $9, $10.
25. And he was like, and I was like, holy crap, people actually do this. They do DoorDash delivered to their house for Taco Bell for $25. Like, wow. I don't feel bad about it. A $10 ice cream nacho all of a sudden.
I could see if you lived in a major city, right? I mean, and
But in
it was
Stevens
a
Point,
pain, but there's no
$27 for
way.
two tacos? Like, are you kidding me? Get out of here.
Did he ever do it
No.
again?
Well, I think the only reason he didn't is I shamed him. I was like, dude, I I said it's your money. You can do whatever you want, but that's crazy. I would never pay that for Taco Bell. That's like you could have gone and sat down at a nice Mexican restaurant and gotten.
Right? I mean,
But anyways, yeah,
100%.
it's so to your point with that DoorDash stuff. I just can't get over how expensive it is, but people are willing to do it. So capitalism, right?
I heard people make a
Supply
good living
demand.
on it. Yeah.
So
Yeah, not here.
yeah.
Not
Anyways,
me.
yeah. So maybe we're gonna have to just take this on the road and start our own truck.
Well, we're going to start selling T-shirts,
Dude, if I could
podcast
ever figure that
T-shirts.
out, I don't know even know
Um,
how to. I needed to learn how to do graphic design. Is what I need to learn how to do.
we'll get there. We'll get there. I do too. We've got some great ideas. We just got to really
Right.
dial it in.
We do have the
May
store
never
made.
happen, but if it does, yes. But I do want a shirt with the podcast
Yeah,
logo on the
that's what I
back.
figure. If we make all our shirts and they all have our podcast logo on the back, and then we could put some whimsical sayings on the front.
I want it just where it says Toby with a big arrow pointing up. Let
That'd be
everybody
pretty
know who
funny.
I am. Right? Lickerhead. I always saw it in college, Lickerhead with a big arrow. That was a good one.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But I like the podcast logo, so I think. Did Jake ever send
No,
us a
he
new one
didn't.
that I
He's a
deleted?
busy
No.
man. Yeah.
Is he? Is he touchy? I mean, because I think I struck a nerve when I deleted it. I should have never deleted it. That was my fault. Jake, I apologize.
Well, you went into our email and cleaned house. I mean, not only did you delete it, but you deleted
I
it from
thought,
deleted. Like it, like you went into the trash and you were like, empty, 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 gone.
I'll be honest, I thought that it was just my phone that those were on. I didn't think I was deleting the company's profile and the documentation. But if you look in there now, there's like 75 unopened emails that I'm not touching. Like, I'm afraid to, like, I'm like,
Well, now we're
not
starting
my
to get a bunch of
business.
garbage, so it is what it is. But
That's kind of always been garbage except for Jake's email. I mean, that's the one important thing, and
yeah,
I
we've had a
deleted
few
that
nice
too.
customer our fans that have reached out, but yeah, generally it's been a lot
Yes.
of spamming type stuff. So anyways, if you have something
It's called
yeah, if you have
cleaning your
something
browser.
interesting to share, we're gonna shelve this topic till next week. But for those of you that actually are listening and watch this, send us some of your best fan gear, things that you love and can't do without. Chairs, stuff, cold weather gear, like maybe where you can sit inside it and it's a little bit warmer, heaters, whatever it is, gloves, coats. What is it that like is a must have if you are a fan for your viewing pleasure? So tell me what it is you're gonna spend your money on. because we would love to know what those are and maybe tell everybody else what those items are as well.
Yeah, yeah. I need a chair. Those bleachers are
They are rough.
rough for high school season. So I'm looking for. I don't know if I want the arms more or less than I need a
Yeah,
back. But
I'm with you. And I'll tell you what, one thing I learned I knew that the spring obviously gets cold, but in the high school season, it seemed like it was even worse because it starts a little earlier than club.
it was
And it
terrible.
was like, man, I need stuff for cold weather. I need to find some stuff that is comfortable because it was miserable. I was cold. There were so many games this spring that I was just miserable.
Yeah, we went to the Bayport boys game last night against Hortonville, and it was chilly. I mean, it wasn't spring cold, but it was it
Yeah,
was it was a nice night. So that'd be nice. I don't know why we don't play in
I wish we
fall.
did. Minnesota does.
Yeah, a lot of state because Paul was saying that the teams that are going to Orlando, I think, are the spring soccer because we have to play. We play in December, then we play in February, and then we won't play until like
Right.
June. So where the other teams play at different times because they play fall
Gotcha.
soccer.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, well, I think we've lost
Okay.
all of our followers. They've given up on us. So time to land the plane, I think.
It's ridiculous. I mean, come on. It's not that late. Oh, it's
Time for
9:42.
bed. God, I got sophomores to deal with tomorrow.
Well, we will see you Saturday morning. We are on Field One. If you guys want to come down and watch the two-time out of three state champions take on the FC Iowa from Iowa. I don't know what city they're
Doesn't
from,
matter.
but it'll be no. And then the 4 o'clock game, we take on our executive director Eric and his 09 loons. That's gonna be a big game. There's a lot of trash talk coming from their side of the fence. A lot of bulletin board material on us. We are playing it cool and close to the vest. We are practicing hard, head down. Paul said, "Of course, we're on field one." Well, they put the
Right.
best on one. It is what it is. And you got to win. You got to win state championships, and then you're treated like royalty. Well, no, you're not. But so we'll see you at the
Yes,
ballpark,
sir.
right?
We will be there. Looking forward to it. It's going to be
By
fun.
by the yeah, by the 2 day pass because we're going for championships.
Right. What color's the pass? Can I make my own?
I don't know. I really don't know. But I'll give you the old screenshot. It's just written in pen. 2 day pass.
I'll put like a fake QR code on there and everything. Make it look. I would never do that.
Yeah, rumor has it we're going to go to. No. But a lot of people park across the street. I'm not doing that. It's
That's
for the
right.
good of the club.
They have kept our prices so low. We need to give back in another way.
I mean, you go to it's $50. $50 to park at Lambeau now. 50. $50. And the houses around Lambeau are $50.
Wow. This inflation stuff is amazing.
Yeah. God,
Unreal.
just maybe you could get your t-shirt business and your ice cream business at Lambeau while you charge parking. I mean, you could work 2 weeks a year.
Tell you what, hey, there's a reason that I didn't just make my LLC the name of the company. It's its own entity, and we're doing business as because there's going to be branches, baby, branches.
Right? Smart.
All right, let's
Smart.
wrap this baby up. Toby, it's been fun. We will see you on Saturday. Go Loons, go Spash, go Bayport. Let's get her done. All right, man.
We'll see you then. All right. Bye.